Hello friends, something cool has arrived. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to open this off camera because I did not take the time to cover up the address or anything like that. But we have a very cool pen today. I know I say this a lot and I usually say, oh, I wasn't gonna get this, and then I got it. Here we go. But I will go over the reason this time. And normally it's not justifiable, but this time it kind of is. So, oh, finally, I got one of the new postcards. Look at that, 39 cents. Oh, because 1939 is the Atlas founding year. So it has two bunny rabbits. It's designed by Bella, one of their employees, and has a little fountain pen. It looks like a pelican. What is this? Are they mushrooms? Oh, it says thanks, THX. I think they're mushrooms, but I'm not sure. That's so funny. All right. Well, this is a really cute postcard. It's my first of that design. And we have the most exciting pen today. And the matching ink. There's a lot of mixed information about the ink for this pen, and some stores, they didn't give out the ink. They said it was separate. Atlas originally under Discord said it was not included, and then they realized that they did have it and they just sent it out with their order. So I feel a little bad for people who didn't get one and said that it was separate. I read a comment somewhere, somebody said, oh, they changed the tape. Usually it's the foggy like Scotch tape, and it's easier to take off. You know you've ordered from a place too many times when you know what their packaging is like down to the tape. Anyways, I read a comment somewhere said that it was kind of up to the retailer to gift the ink. Dominant Industries sent out like 30 per retailer or something like that, and then first 30 customers would get the ink or something. So I really don't know. I kind of wish Dominant Industry was more precise about sending this out and making sure that everyone had an opportunity to get the matching ink. But I'm very grateful that Atlas sent this out without me having to pay extra for it. And this was a pen that I was a little bit skeptical about because it's a brand new fountain pen to the fountain pen world, which is crazy. I mean, you don't see that every day where people come out with brand new pens. And I didn't pay attention to it because I was kind of just like, it looks okay, but I don't want to be the guinea pig to try out the new pen. And I kept asking around. Once people got theirs, I was like, well, how is it? How does it write? And whatnot. And everyone would just say, yeah, it's good. But I want to know what that means. So I'm going to be comparing it to some of the other steel nib pens in my collection because I don't understand yeah, it's good, it's really good, or it writes really well, or it's just okay. At this range of reviews that I've seen, I don't know what that means. So I'm gonna try to compare it to some of the pens in my collection. But it looks really beautiful. Upon initial impressions, we get this beautiful bottle of ink, and it says Cherishment number 14, Keyno. And I noticed this, Stationery. They could have done Stationery with an ARY, but then it would have just looked stupid because then people would have thought they didn't know how to spell stationery. So it's good that they wrote Stationery, as in like you're staying, because from my understanding, this is supposed to be like a hotel theme pen and ink story. So that's super cool. What do we have here? Unfold the unique ephemeral hues of nature into your extraordinary records. Premium grade fountain pen ink series. That is so pretty. Dominant Industry. Dominant Industry with no S. It's not Dominant Industries. It's Dominant Industry. And there's Korean because they are a Korean brand. Shake the pearl ink before using it. Do not use for any purpose other than specified. Don't drink. If you do, Rinse with clean water and consult a doctor. When children use the product, be sure to watch them. Don't expose it to direct sunlight. It may deteriorate if stored for a long time after opening. All right, so Dominant Industry came out with this brand new pen to the market, and if you didn't pay attention to all their posts and stories behind it, which I initially did not, I will admit, I assumed it was like another just Chinese brand pen that they were selling, kind of like, I don't know, you know what I mean? But once you actually look into their posts, that they've put a lot of thought and design into this, so I felt like that's needed to be celebrated. So that's why I bought this pen. Add a new color to your day. Ooh, it has such a pretty, it comes with a pipette. It has such a pretty, oh, wait, I'm excited. Comes with this little card. It says room cherishment, a moment that stirs the heart. 014, Keyno Cherishment. That's so cool. Look at that. They have upped the game with their little bags. Because there's this like, is this pink? Like a deep dusty mauve? I don't know if that's the right color, but it's like this little velvet bag. That's cool. Okay, so it's standard ink. It's 25 mils. Oh, that's a really cool embellishment. And then this ink is called Cherishment, and it says Keyno Stationery on there. Wow, so this ink is like specifically made for this pen. Keyno Stationery. Oh, I'm so excited. I don't know if I'll use the ink because I don't really use pink inks, and everybody's been inking up with that ink, so I don't know. But here is what the box looks like. There is a very intricate drawing of, I'm assuming, their fantasy hotel, and then on this side of the box it says check in into your next luminous chapter. Holy crap, I like this. There's a keyhole on this side, and then on the back, if today's emotions have yet to find their name, begin with a Keyno fountain pen. What you write here does not chase outcomes. It captures the moment a feeling begins to move. Wow. In this day and age, in our fast-paced society, what you write here does not chase outcomes. We're not about, oh my god, that's amazing. We are just taking a moment to capture the feeling. Wow, wow, wow. I love that. Amazing. I love this whole thing because I enjoy staying in hotels, and I don't know, like I haven't been able to go on a trip this year, so this is kind of like my little getaway in a box. I'm actually really excited. I am a sucker for fine aesthetics and nice detail in packaging, but I don't know how to get it out. It's not, we're not gonna rip it because that would be devastating. They need the, all right, Dominant Industry, if you're listening, which probably not, you need that half moon circle so we can put our thumb there and pull the box out. But I am very excited to see where this line takes them. Am I supposed to, guys, oh my god, I can't get it out. I like don't want to ruin it. This is insane. I'm not gonna rip it. There's gotta be a better way. I don't want to like chip my nail polish either, so I might have to. I'm gonna take it off camera and come back. Okay, it has been a few hours and it is now like 5:30 in the morning. I haven't been able to sleep because I'm too anxious, but troubleshooted this with my husband because I didn't want to ruin my nails, and we ran a knife, like a thin knife around it to make sure that there wasn't glue or anything. And basically he said that he ended up putting his nails here and then like pulling it out, so it's still pretty tight, but thankful for partners who enable the pen habit. Wow, this is really pretty. Ooh, it has this raised embellishment. Is it metal? There's like a metal plate, very thin, but it's glued to the box. That's really cool. It says Keyno Stationery. So people were wondering what the 14 was for, and I'm gonna pull up the Instagram post from Dominant Industry, but they said something which was very interesting, and I wish they provided more information on it. Okay, so they're like, room 14 has been prepared for you. Introducing the 014 fountain pen, Keyno Stationery's first fountain pen. The first key from Keyno Stationery, number 014, Cherishment, captures the delicate thrill Excuse the traffic noises. Where tension and joy coexist. Tuned to the rhythm of beta waves at 14 hertz, it is designed to guide you into a state of deep focus and new inspiration. That is romantic. I don't even know what that really means, but it's tuned to this frequency that is supposed to put you into a meditative state, right? Is that what they're trying to say? So I think that's what this wavelength thing here is for. And then on this side, we have check into your next luminous chapter. It's this very soft, welcoming brown color. Here we go. Is this magnetic? It is. I love magnetic boxes. Okay. Oh, I don't want to bend it back too much. Invitation, ticket, cherishment. Very, very pretty. It almost looks like you could color this. We have self-check-in. Who or what makes you feel happy just by thinking about them? What scene comes to mind when you think of them? If you were to capture this feeling in one sentence, what would you write? Oh, that's so romantic. I love this. When I say romantic, I don't mean like partner romantic. I think like romanticize your life kind of thing. Wow, this is really nice. It's like the hotel stationery, you know, and the bedside. Okay. Ooh, I'm like purposely not looking at the pen yet. This is a card. Oh, is this like your hotel card? That's cute. Fountain pen, warranty certificate. Alrighty, 1 year warranty period. That's fine. Okay, firstly, this inner lining, it smells like it's artificial, but it smells like the inside of a violin case. If anybody else played violin growing up, I'm not good at it anymore. I actually was not very good at it in general. That's the first whiff I'm getting is a violin case. So we get this keychain, hefty keychain, and it's pink. It says room cherishment 014 Keyno Stationery. And there's this brass. Is it brass? The key ring is almost this intentionally unfinished looking material. That's really cool. I don't know what I would use this for, but do you guys use the accessories that come with your pens? Like Esterbrook gives you random accessories. I haven't really used any of them. All right, now time for the pen. Very cool. Oh my god. Okay, so it looks exactly like it does in photos and YouTube, because by now I've watched enough of these that I've been like, I know to not expect a pink pen. Like I was expecting something matching this, and it does not. You can kind of see that it doesn't really match this at all. I would have preferred pink in this tone, but this is not bad too. Once again, we need a thumb hole dominant industry, because how am I gonna get this pen out? Am I gonna pull it by the clip? We need a thumb hole. I might email them. How do I get this out? All right, I know this is so extra, but I spent a long time doing my nails this time around, so we're gonna pry it out with tweezers. Everybody's probably like, this is so unnecessary, you're so dramatic. But look, why is it so hard to take the dang pen out? Look, I love your packaging, but this is not it. Well, now we know it's foam underneath. Is there anything else? Oh, that's cool. It's just an empty box with a nice piece of foam. And, oh, okay. There we go. Need to squeeze the pen out. Oh, it's in there tight. I would have not gotten this out with the tweezer. Oh, I did read on Reddit that someone said there was a smell. I like the smell. It smells like the inside of a violin case. If you know, you know. If you don't, I don't know, find somebody with a violin and start sniffing. That's weird. Oh, wow. You can tell that like I'm the first person to touch this. I don't think Atlas did any checks or anything like that before they sent these out. You guys, this is beautiful. Hold on. Okay, like I know you've been looking at it the whole time, but when it was in the box, it made it look a lot more gray. I think because of the translucency, the black background's kind of affecting it. But when you hold it up to the light by itself, it is so delicate, dainty, pretty. I like that. It would be absolutely devastating if my camera was on the wrong setting right now, because I don't know. Oh my god, the cat woke up and he's guarding the door. That's so sweet. So, moment of truth. Whoa. You can see the inner threads right there. See the lines? That's where the body inside threads are. But it's this very delicate crack ice type of pen model. And then on the bottom, we have the keyhole. Very pretty. And it's got this ridge. The top finial. Oh, interesting. So I'm getting hints of yellow, pink, blue, and gray. Purple? There's like shimmer in it. So there's like 4 pieces here almost. That one's yellow, that one's blue, and both of those have shimmer. But then these two do not, but they're more translucent than foggy. And this one looks purple, and this one kind of looks clear but gray. I do like this. The clip, what is that? Is that a star? It is a star. It won't do this. Oh, that's a tight clip. Ow, that is a tight clip. I don't know how far this clip will go. It doesn't want to be a clip. I saw a complaint about the clip and I agree. There's not enough to it. I think it's more so a roll stop than a clip. And then we have these little baby keyholes surrounding this cap band. The body itself, is that a blemish? Dang it. I thought that was lint, but it is a little bit of a blemish. Dang it. It's okay. So it's not white. It's like a soft cream that almost takes on the rose gold reflection that comes off of it, the light. I do like this double ring thing. So it says Stationery and then it says Keyno. I do like that they took the effort to line the clip up with the words because Sailor, for some reason, doesn't like to line theirs up with the word sailor. But look at this body. That is so pretty. Oh, it's not bad at all. Some people were saying that it's very heavy. I do feel the cap is heavy now. Like that actually hurt a little. Yeah, this little piece bothers me, but it's fine. What's the inside look like? The inside of the cap is either black or light gray, and there is no inner cap, I don't believe. I don't think you guys can see it, but here is the nib. You get a look at it first. I see a keyhole for the breather hole, and then it says Keyno Stay-tionery. And oh, I thought it was an X, but I think that's an M. Yeah, it's an M for medium nib. Not too bad. Look at the swirl. All right, here's the back. Is it a little off center? Just a tad, but I've gotten a lot of fountain pens where the feet is a little bit off center. You can see that it's leaning a little towards the right, but I do see light through the tines, so I think that's a good sign. This is interesting. I think the slit, so I read like Reddit comments and there was one person at least who wasn't impressed, and their comments are rolling through my head right now, and that's why I'm like making these observations. I do think the keyhole is a little bit misshapen, like it's not very symmetrical. And then now that I am staring at it, I almost think, oh, absolutely, you can see it with your naked eye. The slit doesn't actually go directly into the middle. Hey, but if it writes fine, then it's all good to me. Oh, it's supposed to be an ebonite feed, which I've never tried before and I don't have any. And then I've been reading up on ebonite beads and apparently you cannot put them in an ultrasonic cleaner. So somebody give me a little education sesh in the comments, please, about why that is. Alrighty. The pen itself is very lightweight. Oh, there's our converter. I love that they actually kept with the rose gold, although this rose gold looks more pink than this. Interesting. Hold on. Is it the lighting? No, that's definitely darker, right? There is a little ball inside of the converter, and then supposedly this is not a standard international converter. It is actually a little bit different sized. There's no marking on here though, and it is just a piston. Nice. I like it. So this is not bad. I'm gonna sniff the pen because somebody said it smelled. Oh, don't sniff the pen. It actually does smell a little. It actually doesn't quite smell like the box, but it smells like something herbal. I don't know. But the thing is, when I got my Esterbrook SD, I could smell this burning plastic smell, and I don't know if it was because it was like plastic grinding on the metal threads for the SD. Was there metal threads? No. It was plastic on plastic, I think. But they have like a metal ring. We'll find it, whatever. And I could smell that from like the distance that it takes from my hand to the face and paper. But this, I can't smell it unless I'm sniffing my pen up close, and I don't usually do that with any of my pens. So I think we're good. This is very lightweight, and then posted. Posted? Huh, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's not bad unposted, but I expected it to be really heavy, and it does take the weight to the back, Oh my god. So it's very, very back heavy, but it's not obnoxious. We'll see though when we're writing. Oh, and I feel it now. Okay. All right. Let's do some pen comparisons, some weight measurements, and then we'll ink it up. Okay. So here's a Pilot Custom 743. Here's our Keyno. This is a Sailor Pro Gear. So the Sailor Pro Gear Slim's even smaller. The Benu Talisman. Twisby Eco. The Pilot Kakuno. The Jinhao 100. This is what I was comparing it to mentally in my head because I was like, Chinese pen with cracked ice pattern, but this is not, like, this is their own invention. This is a copy of a Pilot, I think, or a Parker. This is the Esterbrook SD, and finally the Lamy All-Star. So I hope that helps in some way. It is close to the Kakuno size. Yeah, for the weight in grams, we've got the entire pen at, wow, 30.6. That's actually quite high for me. The cap itself is 15. Okay, 14, almost 15, and the body is 16. So the cap is almost half of the weight. Is it similar to the Jinhao 100? Not quite. Oh, I didn't realize the Esterbrook was so light. Yeah, so none of these are in the range. So it is one of the heavier pens. Maybe the Pelikan M800 is close to it, or the Pilot Vanishing Point. We have our Logical Prime notebook in our Dear Emmy A5 leather cover, and we are just gonna play. I am very excited because it is new pen day and new ink day. These are stickers from my sticker shop on Etsy, and you can find those in the links below. We are going to use Pilot Iroshizuku ink to dip test this because I want to know if this pen is okay. Usually the pastel Pilot inks, I don't know if it's because they're so light, but they don't really feel as wet to me, but hopefully this one will be okay. I like to test my pens with Pilot ink, and we're gonna dip test this. I think we're gonna swatch this, but I might not ink this one up, this ink, because I've seen a lot of videos and I'm just a little bored of it. I don't use pink inks that often. We'll find one to match the other colors on the barrel. This is very exciting. All right, here we go. Okay, so it writes, not bad. What is this called? Dominant Industry, Keyno Station. Wait, how did I? Stationery. Downstrokes, upstrokes. Those are a little thinner. Left to right, right to left. Oh, this is good. Yeah, it's not slippery, buttery smooth, but it's also not too feedbacky. There's definitely no obvious resistance or scratchiness in any direction. There's not feedback like Sailor fountain pens or anything like that, and it doesn't feel like cheap. I guess that's not a very good adjective. Like, it's not smushy. It's not smushy or soft. It's not your Pilot gold nibs that are so slippery you feel like you're gonna slide off the page. And it's not feedbacky like your Platinums or Sailors. Interesting. It's kind of just like, wow, this is a pen. This is a fountain pen. It writes exactly like a fountain pen in the most moderate way. There's nothing that makes me go, there's resistance, but also nothing that makes me go, wow, this is so smooth and wet. It's just a nice pen. Yeah, it's not bad. I like it. Reverse. I can see why now people are just kind of like, yeah, it's good, because there's not many adjectives to describe it. It's like a very neutral pen. There's nothing swaying it in either direction, you know? So this is nice. I can't think of any pen that feels like this right now. I brought out all of my steel nib pens, and I don't think the Twisby, maybe the Twisby feels like this. I don't think the Schmidt nibs on the Benus feel like this. I think those are very wet. And then the Esterbrook SD, maybe the nib feels similar, but the body impacts it. Like this is very light, but it's not disturbingly light. The balance in the hand is good. Posted, I don't like it posted because it feels like it's pulling the pen back and rotating my writing angle up this way. So it's not as, like I feel like I need to do more of this angle instead of this angle, you know? All right, I'm pleased. This is not like any pen that I own, maybe the TWSBI. We will do a dip test with those other pens as well, just so I can kind of get an idea. We've got the Keyno Stay-tionery. I'm gonna do the TWSBI because I think that's the one that's closest. This is also a medium nib. It's a little smoother. I don't know how to explain it. It's a little smoother, but also a little feedbackier. That's contradictory, right? Keyno. Oh, there's a lot more feedback in a TWSBI. So no, it's not. I keep saying smoother because it's like it writes well, like the ink flows. So more feedback on the TWSBI. This is a Benu Euphoric, no, Talisman. Benu, also in a medium. That has audible feedback. I think the lines are thinner than the Benu ones. Sorry if this ink is not legible or if it's hard to see for you guys, but this Benu somehow has more feedback and it writes a thicker line. And Lamy All-Star. I'm trying to do pens in this price range, although this is cheaper. Lamy All-Star. You know, this is pretty close in the... No, it's not. It's not. This is so much feedback compared to this. I'm genuinely surprised how little, like, the connection to the page, how little feedback there is. I hope I'm explaining this right. Here is the Esterbrook SD. Now this one, I could smell. There must have been some ink in here. Why can't I hear the feedback in all of them? Whereas this one's definitely softer. This is really interesting. Huh. So like, all of these pens write well, but this one just is so different. Maybe that's the point. I mean, they are a new pen to the market, so why make one just like everyone else? Okay, my Pilot Kakuno is not a good source because I did drop it and bend the nib, but this has been pretty close. Aside from the excess feedback, I think the smoothness, pretty close. Let me just go ahead and do a Sailor. There's ink in here? It came out blue. Huh. Okay, well that's not the same. It gives me the same joy that that Sailor just did. What are you? Oh, I need to do the Jinhao because this is the pen that I thought it was gonna be. Or I just kept associating it with this pen. And I'm starting to think it's not a fair comparison at all. This Jinhao is hard to assess too because I also dropped this one on its nib. I think I stabbed myself with it. Oh, that's not bad. This is probably the least helpful video. Jinhao 100, medium. Keyno Stay-tionery. I keep spelling it wrong, but it's fine. So it's not this either, because this is laying down a thick, smooth line, but with feedback because the nib's messed up. This one just has this nice, softer touch to it. What the heck? Pilot Metropolitans are very smooth, but they have a stiffer feel. Let me think. I got all the pens that have inked up. This Pelican Twist. Wow, I can't spell. It is very rainy, and I'm sorry if you can hear those sounds. This is like a P10 or something like that, T10. I don't remember, but with a light hand, it feels like it could be this. Honestly, like people kept saying the cap was really heavy, but it's really not. I guess if you post it, then it is awkwardly balanced, but unposted, like I don't notice anything. No, it's softer than that. I feel a little crazy. This is a Stabilo Grow. No. Pelican M800? I can't write. I think I'm overthinking this. So that's very smooth and soft. It's almost, so it's not like the Pelican M800, but it's like that if it was a little bit stiffer. This has a lot of give to it before you feel some kind of resistance. I'm not pressing. I'm not applying pressure. But this one kind of feels, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's this because it's not, but it's an in-between. No, Pelican M600's too soft. Well, actually, no. It's probably a boring video for you guys. I should speed this up or cut it out. The Pilot Falcon nib is a little stiffer. What about a Lamy accent? This is the 14K. This is not quite. Why am I trying so hard to find one that's similar? I think it's because we don't know how this writes unless we can compare it to something. Ooh. Oh, it's softer. But the Sailor's a tiny bit too stiff. That was close though. Platinum 3776 coarse nib. Okay, my battery died from my camera and you can't see it. I tested all of these pens and then some, including these as well. It's like 90% of my pen collection. And I have come to this conclusion that I kind of an idiot. Well, no, let's be nice. Essentially, this is a good thing. None of these pens write like the Keyno Stationery dominant industry pen. Keyno 014 Cherishment. And that is a good thing because why would they design a pen that writes like every single other pen on the market, right? And it's gonna sound crazy. And I don't want people to hold me to this because this is just one opinion of many others out there. But these are the pens that I kind of narrowed it down to that I think feel most like it. And it is the TWSBI Eco and the Pilot E95S and maybe a Pilot Vanishing Point. But here's the thing. They're very different pens. TWSBI Eco, Keyno, Cherishment, and the Pilot E95S. So what I think, and I really want someone else to confirm this, but what I think is it feels like if these two pens had a baby, it would be the Cherishment. And obviously I'm just talking about the feel of the nib, not the shape of the nib, not anything else. It's just the writing experience. And I'm not even sure that the line width is pretty close, but obviously these are very different pens. One's a pocket pen, one's a demonstrator that's very long. But yeah, to me, the nib feels like it's in between these two pens and maybe leaning towards the Eco, but softer. So it's definitely not as soft as this Pilot, because this everybody knows, or maybe you don't know, but this is one of the softest gold nib pens out there. At least I think it is. And whatever writing experience I'm getting out of that is pretty close. Because what I kept coming back to over and over for this pen is that it feels like a steel nib, but there's just a softness to it. Maybe it's the ebonite feed. I do have an Aurora Optima, which apparently has an ebonite feed. I didn't realize. I googled it later. Let me go grab that. I mean, I have all these other pens dipped, so it's gonna be a mess to clean, but we're committed. So let me show you what I did off camera. I also grabbed this Pilot Custom 74 because I remembered it has a soft medium nib, although I feel like it's softer than the 743. And then what kept happening was like, oh my god, this is very close. And then I will write with this and be like, it's not close at all. So Keyno Stationery. Like I keep spelling the stationery part wrong, but it's fine. These are pretty close. I think I found it. You guys, is this real? The Quick Brown Box. The Quick Brown Box. Now, this is definitely softer and this has more resistance. So I lied. I'm so sorry. Maybe I need to stop this video. One thing I did notice though while I was doing these is that usually when I have a fountain pen, I can write like this, where I'm like thumb here, this here, and this here. Or I can write like this and I shift it and I put my thumb over the thing, the grip. And usually I adopt one or the other. For this pen, I've been like unable to find a comfortable position and I keep changing in between, like Pilot Custom 74 S. Do you see what I mean? And I don't know if it's the table, but I keep wanting to switch back and forth. So I didn't realize it until I started writing actual characters that I don't think I know how to hold this pen. So that's weird. The grip is not too slippery. I saw a comment about that on someone else's video. What we're gonna do really, really quick is hold it up against, unposted, against the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. Oh, it's actually really tiny, the Pro Gear Slim, because I realized I didn't show the unposted. It's almost exact to the Sailor Pro Gear, so, which this one is actually too short for me, but this one feels good. I wonder why. All right, that doesn't matter. I am going to ink up the pens that I think that are closest to it. I don't know why I decided to do this today, but I think I'm just like in a weird emotional state and this is the result. Okay, so for the sake of this experiment, all inks are being inked up with Pilot Iroshizuku Take Sumi. And I just rinsed this one out, but not very well, but it should be fine. And I'm just gonna ink up partially for these few pens. And then after this exercise, we can move on to swatching some inks for it, because I don't think I want just plain black ink in here. Here we go. This is the Dominant Industry. I think I'm gonna write it between each pen. Keyno. We'll just say Keyno. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Pilot. Okay, this is a little softer. Finishing point. This is a medium. I can't remember if it's the 14 karat gold nib or the regular. This is the regular special alloy nib, so their steel version, because I think the gold nib version was actually too soft. So that's what's here lying on the side. So this is a little smoother and a little softer. The Aurora, I didn't get to try that earlier. The Aurora Optima. That's actually a broad nib, so it's hard to compare. But let me just ebonite bead and compare it with the ebonite bead. No, there's more softness in this nib than the Aurora. So eliminate this one. Twisby Eco. Whoa, that is thick. Oh, I just need to clean it. It's too much ink. Okay. Twisby. That's still a lot of ink. Round 3. That's very close. So obviously the Twisby Eco's lines are actually thicker, but the feel of it is pretty close. And finally the Pilot T95S. Oh, sorry. This one doesn't have the Takesumi ink. It's inked with Cherishment Nostalgic Honey, which is also a wet ink. So you see, I like started out like this, but then I shifted again to do it like this. This is too this is too smooth and smushy. Oh my gosh. Quick. That is way too wet. I look crazy. You guys, I think with not a Pilot ink, because Pilot inks are really, really smooth, but it's still a wet ink. The Tiranishi Nostalgic Honey. I think this is the closest match. Like in line thickness and in feel. This probably has a little more bounce to it, but yeah, there's a little bit more resistance because the pen is a little heavier too. But I'm still sticking with this. I think it's a baby between the Twisby Eco and the Pilot E95S. And I think we'll call it at that, because if I try to do any more, I will probably lose my mind. I've been spending quite a few hours on this now, so let's move on. But yeah, I'm gonna say, and it makes sense because the Twisby is $40. Or no, yeah, 30 to 40 now. If you get a special edition, it's more than that. The Keyno, Cherishment, Stationery, Cherishment, whatever. I need to take the time to actually figure out what the pen is called. It says Keyno Stationery, and I think that's the brand. So the pen is the Keyno 014 Cherishment. And this one was around $100, and then a Pilot Elite 95S or E95S is almost like 200 plus now. So this does make sense that this is a $100 pen, ebonite feed, pretty comfortable grip. The only thing is I have a bias towards gold nibs. Because of that, I often have this desire to like write with a smushy nib, and that's my preference. I know a lot of people actually don't prefer that, and this one gives you just enough smush that it's not like your Pilot Custom 74 SM. That one's too smushy. I keep using the adjective smushy. Soft, whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely not as hard as a Twisby nib. So that's it. If you're curious what the nib writes like, it is a brand new nib. It's not like any of the others that I've owned. And I would call it something like the in-between of a Twisby Eco and a Pilot E95S. Now, we are going to have all these pens full of ink, but whatever. That's fine. That's for later me to figure out. Let's swatch some ink so we can put something more exciting than Takesumi, even though I love that ink. Let me put something else in this pen. Okay. I've picked out a few inks that I think matches the body of the pen pretty well, and are also inks that I believe you can still buy. This one is the Keyno Cherishment, so that came with it. We'll swatch that. The Erebus Crater and the Follow the Water from the Colorverse Color Event just got released as the full-size colors. We have Diamine Overcast and Diamine Ghost, both from 2 different advents. And then Whimsical, a Star Spattered Hill. Is this a shimmer? Oh, I thought it was a shimmer. Huh, never had a standard ink from Dominant Industry. All right, well, it's open. I think it's opened. No, it's not. Yeah, it looks open. Oh man, whatever. While I was searching for ink and cleaning out my pen, I was thinking about some stuff. Don't come at me and say, Stationery Dumpling said the new Cherishment pen feels like a Pilot gold nib, so I'm gonna buy this and yell at her if it doesn't feel like that. No, please don't. I bet other people will say it feels nothing like a Pilot gold nib, and it doesn't. It just feels like there's some softness to it that is not at this level, but it's not something I've ever experienced in a steel nib, is what I'm trying to say. That is really, really pretty. Wow. This is kind of like a natural rose dye color, I would say. I don't know what natural roses look like, but if I knew what the dye of a rose looked like, it might come out like this. That looks really good. The other thing I wanted to highlight, which is one of the main drivers for why I wanted this pen, is I think it's a very cool thing that Dominant Industry decided to launch this pen, but not only that, I think it's fair to say that the colors of the pen and the packaging is more feminine and geared towards women. And I thought that was very interesting because, I mean, I saw some talk about TWSBI not even releasing pink TWSBI Ecos because the last pen that they released that was pink didn't do well. So it's interesting to me that it's like, as their very first pen, they would come out right out of the gate with a pen that's more marketed towards a female audience. And that to me is something that I thought was very cool and a bold choice because I can't talk and write at the same time. It feels like a nice, bold choice because just a few years ago when I joined this hobby, it still felt like a more male-dominated space. Or maybe that was just my impression, or maybe because when I joined, most of the YouTubers were male. Does that sound bad? I know women who had fountain pens wrote with them for years before that, but it just felt like it was marketed as this space that only rich men could afford. So I think it's just very cool that Dominant Industry came out with this brand new pen and made it pink. Like, that to me is just so cool, and I wanted to recognize that by supporting them and purchasing a pen. So that's one of the main reasons. Anyways, this ink is amazing. I don't normally use pink inks, but this one, this is good. I like that one a lot. And I can definitely see why it's an easy choice to ink up with this one. I think you've seen enough of the Hana Ikata, so I'm not gonna swatch that one. It's just amazing to see that the Dominant Industry came out with a pen that has sold out and pre-orders are already being ordered. And it's nice to see the shift. And I feel like no one's really talking about that. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe I just noticed it and didn't notice it before. But let me know, what do you guys think? The other thing is that it's not just, I don't want to like not talk bad. I don't want to make assumptions about other brands, but let's take Ferris Wheel Press for example. They have pens that are very pretty and female oriented, I would say, as well. And their quality, as far as I have been hearing, I've never tried one myself, is not that great. And I'm not going to go into why because I honestly don't know. I've never really tried one myself. But Dominant Industry, they didn't say like, I don't know how they manufactured this pen, but I know based on what they're saying on Instagram, they really, really, really put a lot of thought and effort into this pen. And I looked up that thing about the 14 hertz frequency, and I don't know how they could have possibly tuned, I can't talk, Colorverse. I can't talk and write. Colorverse, whatever, Follow the Water. But I was thinking that maybe the reason I cannot pinpoint what this pen is like, and I don't know why I keep thinking I can, because they've done hours and hours and hours of research, and I'm just a weirdo who owns a number of pens and has sensitive wrists, so I think I can find a match. I think I'm like trying to understand it in my own way, and I looked up the wavelength thing And I'm gonna have to read it off of Google, so apologies because I'm very scattered right now. So here's what it says. It says, frequency in the alpha range, 8 to 14 hertz, are known to calm the mind and encourage relaxation. And then it is often used in this thing called binaural beats, binaural beats. And it's saying that if you listen to 14 hertz frequencies, you use it when you need to be alert and focused. It can help you feel more awake with more vitality and a higher ability to concentrate. Some sources are saying that it helps you relax. So I think it's very interesting and very cool for them to put such intention and focus into associating their very first pen with that. So they're encouraging relaxation, but also attentiveness and focus, and something that you just need in this day and age to be away from all the noise and clutter and to just be with your pen and paper. I think that's super cool. Nobody is talking about this pen enough, is what I'm saying. All right, let me clean this off and keep swatching. So this video is probably an hour long, and I will probably have to cut down a lot of it because I don't think that's, well, sometimes you guys tell me that you prefer the longer ones, but I don't know. I wanted a gray, and I will most likely ink this one up with a gray ink just because, like I was saying, I don't use pink inks that often, and I don't really like follow the water. I put it in my Kaweco Sport double broad, and there's just something weird about the combination of blue shimmer on this yellow brown. Usually I like the yellow brown inks, but this is just weird to me. I do like this. This is Erebus Crater, which I think a lot of people like. Color Vent, Colorverse. Of course I made this backwards. Erebus Crater. Unfortunately, I had this inked in a pen and it feathered on my plotter paper, so I hope it does not do that on any other paper. Well, it's not doing it here, I think. Oh no, it is. I don't want to ruin the page. Feathering? I think if you hesitate, like on this O and L it can, but that might be the paper. I'm not sure. It's a really nice gray though. It has hues of purple, blue, green in there. Next up is Overcast from Diamine. Dominant Industry, does anyone else feel like it's a quiet brand? It doesn't release endlessly and rapidly like Wearingle per se. Just as an example, I think those two brands kind of came out around the same time. And just, I don't know, maybe it's because most of their inks are very shimmery and pastel. I have a couple bottles now, but I don't really see them. Like, I don't see them on other people's pages that often, or maybe I'm not looking right. Wow, that one's really cool. This is one of the ones where when we did the ink vent, I sent out samples to 5 winners, or how many winners? 3 winners? If this is a 12 ml bottle and I split it into 4 samples of 3 mils. I think I sent it out to 4 people, and somehow this one still has ink in this bottle, so that was interesting. What I found out is sometimes for the ink vent, Diamine will actually overfill because I still have probably a cartridge worth left in here. Diamine ink vent 2025 Overcast. So this one probably has not come out yet for the full size. That is so pretty. Gray, there's shading, there's light blue, there's almost a turquoise. Very cool. Diamine Ghost is what I've been kind of planning to put in this pen ever since the day I hit purchase. And it's because I remember it being a nice soft gray, but also wouldn't it be kind of cute? Well, a little creepy, but they have this whole stay in your hotel theme going on. And what if there's like, okay, it would be creepy if there was a ghost. So what if it's a cute ghost like Casper or something? No, I'm creeped out, so never mind. But you know, whimsy. This is actually nice though. I'm good. I like my hotels to be trouble free. Even the imaginary ones. That is so cool though. So this is from one of the ink vents. I don't remember if it was 23 or 2022. Diamine ink vent, whatever, Ghost. Oh, that one's nice. It's almost like if you mixed Erebus Crater with Overcast, because it definitely has more blue from this and gray, but this one's looking green. Interesting. All right, the last one is going to be this Wearingle shimmer ink, and and it is called a Star Spattered Hill. I always think it's a Star Splattered Hill, but it's Star Spattered, no L. One of my favorite wearable inks because it's a yellow gold that is actually legible. Ooh, I like this. Also a wet ink. I'm afraid that the Diamine Overcast might not be wet enough. I did hear complaints about the extra fine and fine nibs for this Keyno pen to be a little scratchy. So I would advise to get the medium, but I've always been a medium and up kind of girl. Wearingle, a Star Spattered. No. Okay, I'm getting carpal tunnel, so I need to go, but I'm not ready just yet because we need to decide. I also bought Robert Oster and the Coffee Monsters Co. Murky Pond Water. And this will probably come out in a video that I already filmed, but it'll probably come out after this one. And I'm really curious how it looks next to Erebus Crater. Because if you have this, then you don't need to buy that. But if you buy this, you don't need that. Let me just swatch it real quick. Since it's here, I mean, this looks so nice. And I'm gonna put this pen body right here. I think this captures every single color in this pen body. There is the Cherishment ink that would go with the pink. There's the Overcast ink to go with this blue. There's even a Follow the Water shimmer that's this blue, but the yellow also kind of matches the Follow the Water, and like see that sparkly yellow. Maybe the Wearingle, a Star Spattered Hill. And then Ghost is more so those gray specks right there. So there's a lot of depth to this pen, and it feels nice. The material feels great. I remember when I first got the Jinhao 10, I remember thinking this was gonna be awesome, but there's just something weird about this texture of this material. Like I could never describe it. It just kind of felt fake, even though they should all kind of be the same. Maybe not. I don't know anything about plastics. Okay, here's the Robert Oster Coffee Monsters Co. collab, and it is called Murky Pond Water. I just dipped twice because I want to get more ink on here so I can finish up this video. Oh man, it has been a ride. Okay, Robert Oster times TCMC Murky Pond Water. I do have this inked up in a pen right now in my Sailor Pro Gear Slim, and it's nice, but it does feel a little bit on the drier side. So it's a darker gray, but we'll see what it looks like whenever it dries. There's blue in it. I'm glad that the grays actually don't match. Look, this almost turned blue upon drying. Alrighty, well, Robert Oster Murky Pond Water Coffee Monsters Co. is not the same as Colorverse Erebus Crater, because this one is more dark black, brown, purple, green. There's so many shades, but I kind of like this, so I'm gonna stick with that. The Erebus Crater, there we go. And hopefully it's one of those ones where I have to tilt it because I think I'm low on ink. Hopefully this won't bleed or feather on anything anymore. So new and day. Dominant. Why that's so light? Industry. I guess it is a lighter ink. Dominant Industry. Keyno Stationery. 014 Cherishment. You know, it must be late because I no longer feel the bounciness. I have carpal tunnel and I am so tired. But overall, this is a very pleasant pen to write with. Let me know what you think it writes like if you own one. And if you don't own one, I hope you can try one at Pen Club or at a pen event or something, because, well, I'm so delirious, I'm just doodling. This is definitely worth getting some recognition, and I really hope everyone gets to try it because this is big news. This is a new pen in the market. I think it's wonderful. We should be promoting more creativity and unique items coming out. So good job to Dominant Industry. I'm very happy with this pen. I think it's very appropriate for its price range, and the packaging is amazing. The story behind it is amazing. The attention to detail is awesome. The cap turns about 3/4, which is fantastic. Most pens don't do that. Like TWSBI is 1. Yeah, TWSBI is almost exactly 1. I was making personal notes writing with this, and I'm like, I can't feel the bounciness anymore. I can't feel anything. It doesn't feel good anymore. It's because I don't like dry inks. So apparently with this ink in it, I can't feel anything substantial. I can't feel that like little bit of smushiness. The TWSBI is very wet. Because I pulled out this Jinhao, and this writes really nicely. And this also, I mean, I think I just don't like light inks because I can't feel the subtleness anymore. So when I use Iroshizuku inks for everything, everything to test. It gives me a good standard, but I don't know if it gives you guys a good standard, because I know people like to use some drier ink. So I do wonder, maybe that's why, like I don't feel the smushiness anymore. We better go to bed before a crisis occurs in my brain. Let me just point out to you that I've never done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages for a new pen day. I'm done. Want to see more fountain pen videos? I will leave the playlist here somewhere. And please leave me a little key emoji if you've made it this far. I would appreciate it so much. It really does brighten up my day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a beautiful day. Bye.